Sorry fellas, I know I haven't been making any videos and uploading lately. It's because I've been doing nothing but working and cleaning on the shop and trying to get it situated before I pull the car back in here. I'll flip this around and show you. I've only got one room done so far, the hardest one, and that's this one here. I got stuff a lot more organized and clean. Those are all 454 parts for Corey's project, my son's project, that he's going to be building. And then I have this right here. Those are all 460 pistons and a bunch of stuff in those drawers. Scrap metal, all starters and alternators and distributors and coils. And that's one of those chrome antifreeze hoses that you can put together yourself. That's was a torque converter out of a 7.3 Ford diesel. And I gotta put the new fuel line and filter and stuff in this for my sister. And that's my wire box. And this still looks kind of messy, but those are all my different carburetor parts and pieces and stuff that I kept. And that's the original fuel pump assembly that I took out of my Ford Ranger that I replaced. Didn't make any difference at all, so there's nothing wrong with that one. And these are pieces I need to put back on. Some of these pieces right here go to my Jeep, some go to the race car, some go to my dad's project car out there, his 68 Ford Fairlane, 60 something, 62 Ford Fairlane, I can't remember. And just odds and end parts, pieces of metal, boards, stuff like that that I'm going to use. And I got all this stuff cleaned up finally. All my tire tools and tire pieces are down inside there. And manual tire machine has now got some room to actually work with. So this room turned out pretty good. Except for my vise is broke. So I gotta figure out how I can pull this out a ways and weld this directly to it. Yeah, a buddy of mine got me some gas as payment for helping him out for my MIG torch. So I now have a 100% argon tank right there completely full. So when I get back to welding, I can try TIGging for the first time. But yeah, everything in here is still a disaster. And this is what I'm working on right now, getting this cleaned up. And then I'll be working into the other room, getting that one done. But yeah, it's kind of a big disaster. All these are parts and crap that's going out to the motorhome parts holder there. Geez, what a mess. But I better get at it. That's why I haven't been uploading. I've been doing nothing but cleaning. Well, I got that part cleaned off and organized. I'm getting there. Okay, now I have this bench all cleaned off and organized. I put everything that was on there away where it went. Alright fellas, I got a little bit more done here. Got the welding table cleaned off, and I got this, all the garbage and parts that doesn't belong here cleaned off of this. These are all the parts I still need to try and get onto the drag car. So I'm leaving those there because I'm going to be pulling the drag car in. All this stuff, that goes out with the other used motor oils, because that's used motor oil. And all these are parts that I'm keeping that's going out into the motor homes, my parts storage areas. And that come along needs to get hung back up there, and because I got another body coming up, a 2000 and something Chevy Tahoe. I got to pull the body off from, cut the front frame off, or pull the motor, cut the front frame off, and then put a new front frame on it, because I guess there was a lady driving it. She ran over a curb and it actually buckled the frame and broke some control arms. They replaced the control arms already, but the back right tire is pushed back, or the front right tire, I'm sorry, front passenger tire is pushed back, and it's because the frame is buckled right there. So I'm going to replace the whole front of the frame, cut it off, and weld it all back on, put some plates on it, weld them on, and then put it all back together. That'll be coming up here probably in about a week or two. I just wanted to get the shop done first, you know. Got that cleaned off except for some trash on top I gotta throw away. This table's all cleaned off, I showed earlier, but I still have to take care of all the stuff that's up here. Get that stuff either thrown away or put away. And that stuff I gotta take in the house, get put away. And that's all done there, that's all done, that's all done. So basically everything's all done. I gotta load all this stuff up in the bucket of the tractor, take it out to the motor home and get it put away. Finish cleaning the floor, and then I'll have this second room done. I already got the first room done, which I already showed. So that's it turned out pretty well. I got kind of a pile back here of miscellaneous parts that go to a couple different cars, just gotta go back on them. And some exhaust tubing and stuff like that. It's got to be taken care of. But that's where we're at, guys, right now. I want to get the drag car back in here because I got a lot of wiring to do on it, and I got the transmission to do on it. Yes, so I need to hurry up and get the drag car back in here. I've been also working on my Ford Ranger. Come to find out, after I got the software and everything so I can program the keys myself, I got into it, went to program it, and it says that the patch transceiver is no good. It's got a fault in it. I've got two codes for the patch security system. One is for the transceiver, the other one is for the control module is not receiving it from the transceiver. But it could all just be the transceiver, but I'm going to try and get both so I can put them in there, because I got the keys cut, everything, the new programmable keys for it, and I went and programmed it and it wouldn't program, it kept saying error, patch module, transceiver not working or something like that. So still can't use my computer that actually goes to that truck. I'm still using one out of a 96 and a push button. Of course it works, it just doesn't run right because that computer reads the sensors differently. And on the Ranger, sometimes the wires are backwards on some of the sensors. So the computer's just not reading stuff right, and I won't know what's actually wrong and everything until actually I get the computer working in that car. Then that'll tell me what's right and what's wrong and what's going on. Then we got Frankenstein coming back in the shop too, and the Jeep. Frankenstein's getting trailing arms and reinforced some welding on it, and fixing the driver's side exhaust, and probably recutting the front and rear drive shafts and re-welding them because it's just not straight. They got a little wobble to them, and I don't want to go through my U-joints and stuff like that, especially if I end up putting it on the road so I can drive it further to go trailing and mudding and racing with it, because that's the plan with it, was mud racing over at Rattlesnake Raceway. That's right here in Fallon, Nevada. So that's the plan with that. All right, fellas, I'll let you go for now. All right, other than getting that stuff brought out with the tractor and put away, everything here is done in this room. Well, except for up top there, I forgot about that chute. I guess I still got to do that. But we got everything else taken care of. Well, fellas, I just come out to the shop, finished cleaning for the day. I still have this big giant mess to clean up. So that's what I'm working on now, but I just discovered something when I came out here. My hood fell and busted out my windows. That hood has been sitting there for well over a week or 2 weeks, hasn't moved or fallen at all, and now just randomly it decides to fall off and bust out my windows. But it appears nothing happened to the hood, so the hood's still in good shape from what I can tell. That kind of sucks, but I'm gonna go ahead and get all this stuff out of here and then start cleaning all this, get all this taken care of. That's my plan for today, so I can go ahead and get Radioactive back in the shop. All right, fellas, I'm almost completely done with the shop. And big difference now. I still got this stuff to take care of right here, and a little bit of stuff up here needs to be taken care of, but that's it, finally. And I went ahead and brought Radioactive back in, finally. And that brand new chrome harmonic balancer that I put on here, it is rusting. Unbelievable. That should not be happening. But yeah, I got it back in here. I'm gonna get it all vacuumed out. Right there's a vacuum already. It's full of leaves and dirt from being outside. And well, I am gonna be cutting these off and then cutting the shock mounts off of these and putting a 2-inch block inside here and welding these back onto that 2-inch block. So I'm going to lift my front end up about 2 inches because it is just way too low. I can't even test drive it in my own driveway because it bottoms out the front when I push it. So it's just too low in the front. It's got to come up a little bit. Otherwise I'll never be able to test drive it. And I got that transmission all set. I got everything except the clutch and pressure plate. That's what I got to save up some money for and get. I got a brand new pilot bearing. I got a good flywheel. The transmission itself should be fine, and that tail, fingers crossed, should transfer right over onto it. And I have to change out the tail shaft as well, because I think the tail shaft is too short for those ones. That's why they got to be changed out. So I got some work to do, and but that's probably all I'm doing tonight. Tomorrow I'll probably actually get onto this. I'll show you around the shop a little bit real quick. Yeah, I picked up the hood after it busted my window open. And I probably just showed you this 2 seconds ago. Yeah, I'm bringing that old antique lamp in my house, washing it up, putting LED bulbs in it, and I'm gonna set that on one of my end tables. I think it'd be pretty cool. I got a whole pile of license plates I'm gonna nail up in here somewhere, and then I gotta clean up this trash, all this stuff right here. And I still gotta hang up that come along because of that body job I got coming up here. These are all of the 454 GM parts. That's gonna be going, most of these will be going right back into the engine and on the vehicle once we decide on the body. We were gonna use that white Mazda that's out there, but when my son bought it, he only got a bill of sale, not a actual title. I didn't know that. And he took the bill of sale to the DMV and they refused to give him a title. So apparently bill of sales are no good no more anymore. They told my son that he'd have to get a hold of the owner and try and get get them to file for a lost title, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I think we're just going to be pulling that out to the junkyard, and he's going to look for another body to put for his drag car. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to be getting back on Radioactive tomorrow. Alright fellas, I am finally done with this shop. Got all that cleaned up. Those are all just tools and tool kits. Oh my goodness, that took forever. I've been working on this for a week and a half, I think, 2 weeks. All this, finally getting it done, and it's done. Now tomorrow, I'll be on Radioactive. Alright fellas, I got that one done. I do have to replace the bolt in it though. It's stripped out, so it's just temporarily in there. My welds ain't beautiful, but they are definitely solid and will hold. So, and I'm all bolted on. I guess I can do a cold start for you real quick. This hasn't been started in a little while, so make sure we get my... Oh, and I put this in right here, just an old O2 sensor, so that an equal amount of air is flowing, the same amount of pressure on both sides. So let me fire this thing up for you. Cold-blooded though, it doesn't like to stay running until after it's been warmed up for a second. It doesn't have a choke on it at all. So, the choke's wide open. It takes the manual, and I don't have the manual pull for it on in there yet. And it hasn't been started in a couple weeks, so. Yeah, once it warms up, it runs pretty good. So I can't complain. All right, that's it for tonight, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get this uploaded.